Hello, Tiger fans. Welcome to the point. I'm Wes Pruitt, joined again by Brandon Bumgarner, Big Bad Bumgarner. Very special guest, Al Bloodworth, former Memphis Tiger football player from 92 to 96?
92, 96, yeah.
92 to 96. He was on the field when we knocked off Tennessee. We beat old Happy Feet Manning. That was great. That's a great night. Never forget it. But Al, real quick before we get into you and all your play, let's talk a little bit about last night. That was a shootout, man. A literal Wild West shootout in Jonesboro.
A lot closer than I would have liked to have been, but came out in the first half, played really, really well, and I thought our defense held them in check for the most part, with a few exceptions. But the fact that our offense can just keep scoring points was just it was exceptional. So, of course, at the end, specifically in the fourth quarter, giving up those touchdowns, and it seemed like as soon as they would score, we would score again. But I would like to it have been, not that close. But good win altogether.
Yeah, big win. Their stadium over there is beautiful.
Yeah.
I love how the on-campus setup is. You just have to walk a lot. But there's people clapping in the bar. Look, we're at a happy bar today.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened in there, but yeah, let's all clap.
Clap. Yeah. Hey.
Clapping for the Tigers, baby. No, but on a real note, we had Brady on earlier, and we were talking about Seth again and Brandon Thomas and Calvin Austin. Those three guys were your X factor last night. They were. I mean, this Hennigan kid is unbelievable for a freshman.
Yeah, sure.
And then you have Brandon Thomas, who's leading the country in rushing yards right now, which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Bro, like first two games in your career, you got. Give me kind of the thoughts, what you think about those two guys that I mentioned, and then talk about like Calvin's performance last night. We expect this week in and week out from Calvin now, but I wasn't expecting a 200-something yard game from him.
Well, I mean, I think our offense has finally gotten back to what made us so dangerous and so explosive in that 17, really 16, 17, 18, 19 years. Is running the football first, establishing the run, opening up the passing game, and having both phases of the offense really ginning like it was. Nobody could have seen Seth coming in and playing this well. Quite honestly, if you're really honest with yourself, you're starting a true freshman quarterback. But the staff has done a good job in really managing him in that offense to really put him in the best position to be successful. And then again, leaning on Brandon, he's just an amazing kid. He's got that burst, he's got that wiggle, he's got power if he needs it. But we haven't seen anything like that since we had DH and Darrell Henderson, and that. It's important to keep doing that because, let's take a step back on Seth, and he's played very, very well.
Yeah, you can't expect it.
But you cannot expect that you can't expect it from any quarterback, regardless of what class they're in. But when he's a true freshman, he's going to have his bumps and bruises. He's going to have his off games. But he's done a really, really good job. I'm happy for him to play as well as he did. Now, we'll get a true indication of where our team is this week, obviously. Nichols and Arkansas State are not SEC caliber talent. I mean, not to either of those teams. But I'm really happy that we're finally getting back to what made us so successful earlier under Coach Norvell, running the ball and really play action. And Calvin's Calvin. If you play him man, you're going to get burned. The dude's a 10-1, 100 guy. And he can get open. He can catch the ball. He's got, all you would want to have in a top-notch receiver. So those three guys are going to be the catalyst of us being good. But let's talk about the O-line.
Yeah. The O-line was awesome yesterday.
I mean, for Seth to have 417 and 5 touchdowns or 4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I mean, the kid's got to be able to throw the ball, and and I'm really pleased with the way our O-line played.
Both sides, run blocking and pass
Yeah,
blocking.
yeah,
They've been
absolutely.
unbelievable
Yeah.
so far. So you have to give them credit. The one thing I think that scared people looking at the O-line, when you look at the depth chart, we only have 2 guys that are like over 300 pounds.
Yeah.
The O-line's just athletic.
Yeah,
They're not big guys anymore. They're athletes.
Yep.
And Silverfield, coming from the NFL, I think he has that mentality of make these guys as athletic as possible because that's how we're going to be successful. And you know him being a former O-line coach, he's going to want to run the ball. Last year had to have killed him.
Oh my God.
Not being able to run the ball the way you wanted to.
He's probably pulling his hair
Especially
out.
because your O-line wasn't what you thought it was going to be last year.
Yeah.
But you got these transfers in here. You got some young kids playing. The O-line is a very underrated part of this football team. And I think they're going to be the key for next week. So.
Absolutely. And I think Silverfield was smart enough. And under Norvell, I think his philosophy with O-linemen is not to get the 6'8", 350-pound guys. You're going to get the guys that are lighter and more athletic and are interchangeable position-wise. We've got guys that can play center guard and tackle. So I think his philosophy in recruiting is exactly that. Get guys that are very athletic, that are interchangeable on the front, and because that offense dictates that they be that. So because our run game and our passing game are so it's that up tempo offense and all of that. So let's talk about the O line. It honestly was one of our question marks coming into the season. You had a couple of guys leave and a couple of transfers to go out, and then we had the transfer that came in. I think they played exceptional considering the circumstances. So, but when you got a running back that's leading the nation in rushing, you're doing something right. So yeah, I'm happy for the O line to play well.
Al, man, talk about a guy that I thoroughly enjoyed watching play football, and that's Sean Dykes. This guy last night had a hello, how are you? Press box came unglued when that happened. When he did it, everybody went, ooh, I mean, supposed to be neutral. No, it wasn't nobody neutral when he struck him last night. Talk a little bit about Sean Dykes and what you like about this young man.
He's so versatile. He's a small enough guy where you can split him out, get the X or the Z all the way out wide if you want to. But as the tight end goes in our offense, it's how our offense is going to go. I think it's so important to get him involved, and there's no other way around it. He has to be a key contributor like he was last night every week for us to be successful. It takes so much more pressure off of Seth, and really the other receivers. It's going to open up everything else for everybody on the outside if he's because if you want to double him, you're going to have to walk a linebacker act over on him and a safety or whatever. So you're basically playing single coverage outside.
That was my next point. With the versatility of Sean Dykes, and let's be honest, he's athletic, he's got speed.
Yep.
He's not just a big tight end.
No.
He's got speed. He can lead you.
Yeah.
So when you got Calvin Austin, we talked about him already, world-class speed, Javon Ivory.
Yeah.
Gabriel played well last night as well.
Yeah.
When you look at just the sheer talent on the offensive side of the football, where do you rank him? I mean, would you say it'd be Austin and then probably
I'd say
Ivory,
Austin,
Dykes, or would you put Dykes at 2?
I put Dykes 2. I put Austin Dykes, and then the rest of it. And the other thing that doesn't get really talked about is the young talent in the receiving corps, and really the running back room. But I think that Sean is probably number 2. Calvin obviously number 1 on the outside. But I mean, are you going to who are you going to double? And you can't, because if you bring a safety down or a linebacker out and double Sean, you're leaving the outside on man and coverage. You're not gonna win doing that. And if you double somebody on the outside like Calvin, then you open up the middle for Sean. So it's really that pick your poison type thing we have, and that's a huge advantage in our offense.
Just Calvin that frees up other guys like Gabriel Rogers, Javon Ivory, who have uber amounts of talent.
They do.
We've seen it out of Javon. Gabriel Rogers had a big game, first game.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's weapons all over the field as far as this Memphis team. I'm very excited to see where this leads for next week. Not only next week, but the rest of the season. But I'm very confident in this coaching staff. They've done a very, very good job as far as getting these guys ready to play.
Yeah.
And let's be honest here, like, this COVID thing, like, it's scaring people, but also, like, you have to give it to the Memphis staff. Like, for them not to have guys going out doing stuff, doing stupid stuff, jeopardizing the game.
Right.
And I know you're only 2 games in, but, like, it shows the discipline of this team.
It does. And you know, kids are going to be kids.
Yeah.
I'll be shocked.
They're
if
college
there's not
kids, so.
Yeah. I'll be shocked if there's not a knucklehead type of situation by the end of the year. I was once there.
Yeah.
We really don't think about what the next day is going to bring. We just care about
You're in the
what's
moment.
Exactly. So, but I agree with you. I think the staff is going to do a good job of keeping these kids grounded, keeping them focused, and keeping their priorities where they need to be.
I think one of the big things is Silverfield's such a player's coach.
Yeah.
The players respect him and they love him because they know he loves them and respects them. I think you see that through this whole staff. As I told Brady earlier, it's nice to see former players around the program supporting every week, not only being on the sidelines, but in the stands as fans. And as yourself, you go to every game. You do whatever you can to be there for this team. And I didn't play, but like I love seeing the guys that I know that did play come out week in and week out because it helps build a culture. You know, people talk about Memphis football doesn't have a culture. You're there now. I mean, you have a culture. You have all the former players supporting the team, and they've always done that. You've had one, but it's never been publicized like it is now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I have to give a ton of credit to Coach Norvell when he came here, and from a former player's perspective, the warm, fuzzy feeling of coming back that welcomed us back. He invited us to practice. He wanted us to come out to the walkthroughs on Friday night on the road or at home and walk with the team arm in arm.
I think that's so good.
And then we get to come down on the field before the games, an hour before the games, so that they get to run past us. So I credit him a lot, and it means you look at all of the historically great college football programs. They all have the former players are an integral part of that culture that you talk about.
Yes.
And you can't have a successful top-tier program without former players coming back and giving back to the team.
You can't. So you look at Alabama, schools like that, all those former players always come back. And it's nice to see that happening with Memphis.
Yeah.
And once you get your alumni established and former players, former coaches, and get them coming back week and week and week, when they have kids and their kids have kids, it builds a fan base.
Absolutely.
That's the problem Memphis has had. We've never been able to build a fan base, but we're finally able to do it right now.
Right. And winning helps. Let's be honest.
Winning absolutely helps. That's probably number one.
Exactly.
But when you have a team that it has question marks around it this year. We don't know what to expect out of this team. They're a completely new team, basically. We know that Silverfield's going to want to run the ball, and we know we have a pretty good quarterback right now. But we don't know where it's going to stand in 3 weeks from now. Like, if we go out here Saturday and get absolutely smoked by Mississippi State, I don't think that's going to happen, by the way. People are going to quit showing up, like the Fairweathers.
Right.
They'll quit showing up. It's just how it always has been. But the good thing to know now is you have a consistent base of 30,000 people that's going to be at every game.
Right.
They're going to be at every game, no matter if you're winning or losing. The guy that's going to be on next is one of those fans. Big fan, Bill Glass. He's been on our show before. But You look at it and I saw a lot of tweets this past week about conference expansion and stuff, and people were saying, well, Memphis doesn't have that culture to get them into a big conference. And I just laugh at that. So I know football, as far as success, hasn't had the success that the basketball program has. But look at our basketball program. Everybody loves our basketball program. And you know what? The truth hurts. When Josh Pastor was here and Tubby Smith was here, when people weren't going to games, it's because they sucked.
Yeah.
We didn't want to watch them suck. So, but now we have a winner in football, and people are sitting. I'm going to be honest again, half-assed at home. I don't know if I want to go to the game. It's too hot. It's too cold. It's raining. I mean, you don't have that at other schools.
No.
You don't have that. You can't have that at Memphis. So, I guess my point here, the point, is that we're building a fan base. It's getting recognized. Former players like yourself are bought in with that. And it just makes me happy to see it. Because, and I know you're happy to see it. Because, like, when you were playing in the 90s and we've had an SEC game at home, it was mostly that SEC teams. It was all SEC. Like, when y'all beat Tennessee, the crowd was half and half.
Literally, you could, if you could have taken a picture of an aerial shot, it would have been literally half blue and half.
And I know Tennessee is the state's team. Well, not anymore. Memphis runs the state, for those of you listening in Knoxville. But that can't happen anymore. Next weekend, there should be no more than 20 or 30% Mississippi State fans. The rest of the 100 should be Memphis fans.
Sure.
It should be just like it was when we played SMU.
Yeah.
When we had College Game Day. Or it should be just like it was when we played Ole Miss in 2015 and beat that ass. And it was mostly Memphis fans, and we spanked them.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
And it was mostly Memphis fans, and you had, a couple thousand Ole Miss fans. But we're getting that culture, but it's got to stay on a consistent basis. And if guys like you keep showing that support, we're going to get where we need to be.
It takes a buy-in too, man, and that term is used so
Eyes
freely.
up, all in.
But it takes you prioritizing, and that's the whole thing is buying in and making it a priority. That's all. But to what you said, it's to see where we come. It gets emotional because we were just talking about it earlier. 2011. My former teammate, Larry Porter, was the head coach, and I love Larry to death, and still love him. But you go 1-10, you win 2 games in 2 years, then you get 5,000 people at the game, and you wonder why you even have a football.
Or 750.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Exactly.
There were years when I played that there was less than 10,000 fans at the game. And don't think that the players don't see that. And adversely, don't think that doesn't amp those kids up when they come out of the tunnel and they see 50,000 people there. So it works both ways.
Yeah.
It does.
Well, and, my thing is this. When you are a football player and you're in that stadium, you can feel the fans in the stadium.
Sure.
You know before you ever even get out there how it's going to look.
Absolutely.
Or I say you have a good general idea.
Yeah.
So what I really would like to know is, as a former player, what does it mean to have your university be on the map finally? I mean, you were there 92 to 96, so that was end of Stobart,
End of
beginning
Stobart, beginning of
of
Shear.
Rip Shear.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm showing my age. I know that. Here's the thing. I mean, let's be honest. Rip Shear was not a bad football coach.
Absolutely not.
Chuck Stobart was for damn sure not a bad football coach.
No.
Chuck Stobart knocked off USC, knocked off Florida, hung tough with. I know Stobart beat Mississippi State.
Yeah. We beat them like a drum down there.
Yes.
In 90.
So what does it mean to a guy that literally lived it, to have your university, have this arms wrapped around you, but also genuinely want you to support him?
Yeah, I mean, to 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 be there, the SMU game, from game day all the way to the end of the game, to be there and to see my freshman year when we played Tulane when there was 4,500 fans in the stands. It is. It's cool.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, you're good, man. Oh.
It's an emotional thing, and it's really cool to see.
Trust me, as diehard Tiger fans as I am, and Brandon is, it's emotional for us.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can't even imagine what it is like for you. But I mean, like for example, I was there. I know we played in East Carolina. It was homecoming. It was raining, and I think there was a total of maybe 900 fans.
It was on Halloween.
It was horrible.
It was on
It
Halloween.
was horrible. It was storming its ass off too.
Yeah.
God, it rained its ass off.
Yeah.
I
But
thought they were going to cancel the game.
I did too. But we were there tailgating under a tent. It was hard. But you know, I mean, like, what is it? I mean, I can physically see your emotion. So yeah, I tried to back away from mine. I mean, I can literally see your emotion. So to see where this team is, and then I mean, even last night, let's be honest, Tiger Nation showed up.
Yeah,
out.
man.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I was in the press box. I wasn't on the field, but from my vantage point, and I posted a picture of it last night, it looked like that entire, for the most part, that whole
It was
side
all
was
blue.
blue.
It was all blue.
It was.
And years ago, when we would travel on the road, we would have a handful of
Yeah.
players' parents and a few, even to to close games like Starkville or whatever. We even had my junior year we played Michigan. We had like 1,500 people up there in Ann Arbor.
Yep.
That was a great game. Lost to
Oh, yeah. It was 7-7 in the fourth quarter.
It was great.
But it makes a difference to be able to come out and I'm sure those kids were pumped up when they saw how many
Oh,
we had
yeah.
there yesterday. It makes a huge difference in the way you play, the way you act, the way you feel. So yeah, the fan support. Anybody that says the kids don't get when the fans are there and when they're loud and they're supportive, anybody that says that, they're out of their mind, because it absolutely makes a difference. And you hear these kids, I promise you, what these jerks that are in the stands that are talking crap about these kids, you can hear every single word that those people say. That's why I get so irritated with people talking down about the coach or down about say whatever you want to say about the coach, but don't talk bad down to the players.
These
they can hear
kids didn't have to come play football.
Absolutely
here.
not.
They could have gone elsewhere, and they decided to commit their time to come play for your university.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they have a mistake, just be like, man, I wish that would have been gone better. But don't trash them.
Absolutely, man.
Especially on social media where these kids are extremely active and
Yeah.
they see everything.
Everything in their
Every
parents.
single thing. So Brady, for example, he was here earlier. The Navy game in 2019. Terrible first half.
Yeah.
The kid's close to passing just about every record in Tiger record books. And our fans booed him going into the locker room. And I was like, what? I understand he was playing bad. But Brady's one of those guys that can flip a switch and turn it on.
Yeah.
Turn it on. And you know what? He did that in the Navy game. In the second half, they came out and scored 4 touchdowns.
Right.
Back-to-back drives. That was only 3 back-to-back.
I got you.
To back. But yeah, like, you don't berate these players, man. It's one thing if they're getting paid to play a game like a professional football player or basketball player.
Yeah.
But these are kids.
Very much so.
And yeah, some of them might be 25-year-old kids, but they're still kids because of rules and such. Some are 25. But like, yeah, I never want to see somebody go up to a kid. Like, so say Seth Hennigan has a bad game Saturday. And then people are like, well, I don't think he's good. Blah, blah,
it's gonna
blah,
happen.
blah, blah. It's going to happen as soon as he has a bad game.
Absolutely.
Because every fan base, some are worse than others, but every fan base has a bunch of bad apples. And I'm going to be honest, like I have been one of those at a point. But then I've grown up and I also realized, well, hey, it's not my place to say that this kid's playing bad. The coaches are paid to tell the kids that they're playing like ass.
Yeah.
It's not my job to do it. Now, can I think that in my brain? Yeah. Can I talk to that with y'all? Yes. But I'm not going to do it publicly, and I'm not going to do it on social media. The only people you'll see me trash on social media are University of Tennessee
fans.
their fans, their coaches,
Anything orange.
Kentucky, especially that slick-haired POS that's their head coach.
Scalabari.
Do what?
It's calamari.
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 Yeah. I like that.
But yeah, I'm not gonna belittle a kid on social media just because they're playing bad. Now, if it's a Denver Broncos player and Teddy Bridgewater throws 4 picks today, you're damn right. I'm gonna be like, Teddy Bridgewater, you suck, because you're getting paid to do this.
Yeah.
But there's the difference. Now, hey, if one of these kids, so basketball, Imani Bates, Jalen Duren, NIL, they start selling stuff, right? And I'm buying their merchandise. I'm not paying for them to play basketball. I'm paying to buy their stuff and support them.
Right.
So you're going to have our people out here say, oh, well, I pay for this kid to be good. No, you don't. If you buy season tickets, you support the university. You don't pay for anything. You're not entitled to anything, especially as a college fan. Now, when you're a professional fan, like buying this Tom Brady jersey or your Ben Roethlisberger jersey or some, we got Derrick Henry jersey in the house. Like, if you have something like that, professional sports, like as I said, you physically buy into that. Those fans, they're more than welcome to have their own opinion on something. Like I just said,
Yeah.
Teddy Bridgewater throws 4 picks and you're telling me he sucks. I'm not going to tell Seth Hennigan he sucks. I'm not going to do it.
He might throw 3. No.
He might throw like 5 or 6 pick sixes. That's what I'm cheering for because I want Drew Lock in as soon as possible. But yeah, no. Where were we going with this? I'm sorry, I am lost.
It's all right. Going back,
You lost your point.
I did lose my point.
Did I see us getting to this?
Yeah.
Honestly, no, man.
Saw the potential, but
I thought here's and I was talking about this with Mike Freddie last night on the way to the game. Imagine if we did what Louisville did 20 years ago. Think about this. Think about this. We bag on Louisville all the time.
Yeah.
But if we would have made the commitment to football like Louisville did 20 years ago, where would we be right now? We would be exactly where they are right now. We wouldn't have to worry about what conference is going here and it would. And we were talking about Tommy West earlier with Brady. He is the sole reason, and I'm not even kidding. If Tommy West,
painful. It's too painful.
If Tommy West doesn't go on that rant after he's fired, I don't think anything changes.
It's too painful.
And it still took him a couple years after that.
It took him a coaching change and then getting another coach.
It took 2 wins in 2 years.
Yeah.
Or whatever it was.
3.
So, yes, I'm always grateful for Coach West to go because he said what everybody else, all of us, wanted to say, and nobody else had the guts to say.
And at that point in time, he didn't care. He
was gone anyway.
He could say what he wanted.
What were they going to do? Fire him?
Exactly. He was already packed up.
But that's how much that guy cared about us and the players.
And he still does.
In the university.
He still does.
100%. Yeah. So I'm always thankful to Coach West that he did that. I honestly thought that we had the potential to be, like you talked about earlier, bowl every year and all of that kind of stuff. But to take it to that level, Cotton Bowl, New Year's Day, honestly, I didn't think so.
No.
I hoped and prayed and wished that we would, but I honestly didn't see it. Now, it's now in the hands of our coach and our staff and our administration and our athletic department to keep it going, to keep making the right hires. Just we have to, the better you are, the more those Power 5 schools are going to come after your assistants, and the better decision. But it forces you to make good hire after good hire, good hire after good hire.
I mean, we've already seen it.
Yeah.
I mean, look at how many assistants have left on
Absolutely.
other schools.
Yeah.
Real quick, we're the point. I'm West Pruitt. This big tall joker right here next to me is Brandon Bumgarner. We got Al Bloodworth in the house. Speaking of the house, we're at Sidecar Cafe here live on Winton Road. Want to give a quick shout out to the bar, Sidecar Cafe. They have been amazing. The food is incredible. The pizza they got here is a fully loaded all meat pizza. It is one of the best pizzas I've ever put in my mouth. Service is amazing. Everything's great here at Sidecar Cafe. So a quick shout out to them for letting us come in today and be live. Also a quick shout out to all of our sponsors. First off, the point sponsor is Germantown Village Wine and Liquor right there on Poplar Avenue. Go by and see my guy Stephen Plunk, known him for about 20 years. Great guy. They've got some special select single barrel whiskeys that you can only get in their store. Go by and check them out. Germantown Village Wine and Liquor. Also, we are sponsored by Tito's Vodka. Our banners are sponsored by Tito's Vodka. So quick shout out to Tito's Vodka for giving us a sponsor as well. We're here at Sidecar Cafe. This has been a great day. We are the point. Al Bloodworth, you have been incredible with us today, man. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me on.
If there's anytime you want to come back on, man, just reach out.
I would love to have you back.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we would love to have you back on.
Anytime that I can talk about football, specifically Tiger football,
Yeah.
I'm always.
That's what we're here for.
What are the odds? The point is, we're a Tiger football show. Tiger show.
It all works, man.
Yeah, it's like, it's like match made in heaven. It's crazy. Up next, we've got a ultimate fan. Would you call him an
Legend.
ultimate fan?
Absolute legend.
Some would call him an ultimate Tiger.
That's a good point. Some do call him the ultimate Tiger. But I know him as a guy named Phil Glass. You know him as the King of Ball.
Yes.
Yeah. But Phil is getting ready to come on with us, man. He's been on before. Member of the Highland Hunters as well. So we've talked a little Highland Hunters.
Board member of the Highland Hunters, not just member.
Excuse me. Let me rephrase this. He is a board member of the Highland Hunters.
Give that man his title.
Yeah, got to. If you've ever seen any Memphis football game ever, there's a guy in the end zone that has this badass looking mask on and he's doing his hands like this, like, with a little,
Third
down, and he stands up for like 20 more minutes. It's great. But his name is Phil Glass. He'll be joining us here shortly. Al Bloodworth, thank you very much for joining us, man.
I really appreciate y'all having me on.
Appreciate you,
Always,
brother.
buddy.
Brandon, going back to the Arkansas State game from yesterday, man, I was really impressed with how our offense played. Our defense, I was not all impressed with, just to be honest with you. We've got to get that. We've got to get our defense sewn up before this week. Of course, we know I got a Mike Leach-led air raid offense coming in. Don't run the ball a lot; they throw the piss out of it. So, got to get that defense sewn up this week before Mississippi State. But I know that's what Coach Silverfield and crew are doing as we speak.
Yeah. Mike Leach is going to throw the ball at least 60 times next week because, one, they cannot run the ball, and two, let's be honest, Will Rogers, no, they can't stop the pass either. They don't spend a lot of time on the field because they run their offense very, very quickly, and their defense isn't very good, so they get scored on a lot. Now, yesterday, they only allowed 3 points against NC State, which, NC State's not a bad football team, so it'll be a tough game. But the Tigers have something special on the line. You have a 2-year home winning streak on the line, which is just unbelievable. The Tigers have only lost one home game in the last 3 years. That's insane. And the one home game was against UCF in the rain when Tony Pollard got tackled.
Yeah.
Felt like a full 30 seconds before the ball even got to
And
him.
also, now that Ohio State just lost,
Yeah.
that moves us up the ranks. As a longest home.
Yeah. Since Ohio State lost. I thought you were talking about top 25.
No. We're not there yet.
No,
No, as far as
I
home
expect if the momentum keeps going this year, Memphis will definitely make it into the top 25. But yeah, no. Since Ohio State lost, I think you move up to like the fourth highest winning streak in the country at home, which is exciting. I'm not sure who is above us. I can check that out and stuff. But Phil, why don't you come up here and join us? We got the Ultimate Tiger here with us today. Brought his helmet with him. Oh, let's get this camera on his helmet. Let's see. Yeah, let's hold it up. Let's hold it up. Heck yeah. This is awesome.
This thing weighs about 30 pounds.
I don't know how Phil walks around with this on his
I was
helmet.
just, all right, so my first question is this, Phil.
How strong does your neck have to be to walk around with that helmet on?
Well, so to be fair, I have a different helmet I wear to actually during the game. It doesn't have the plume on top, so it's about 80 pounds lighter. So this is more for show, but yeah, I do feel a little big in the games.
Oh man, I can imagine.
But it's worth it. Get out there and root for my Tigers, and remembering what they're out there suffering and all that critical stuff. Like, hey, I can be a fan, root them on.
So let me ask you this, man. How does it feel to be an icon of Tiger football? I mean, you gotta kind of feel like Santa Claus of Tiger football a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of cool. This wasn't something I ever set out to do, right? It's kind of happened thanks to Ole Miss giving me a bunch of crowd back in 2015.
Yep.
Started with the Memphis Riley mask, and the whole outfit's kind of evolved. And I've kind of become this ultimate fan icon, if you will. But I try not to let that go to my head because I don't see myself better than any Tiger fan out there, especially the true Tiger fans. I mean, we're all in this together. I'm a little more unique. I don't mind showing it. I'm just running with it.
Oh, you don't mind showing it. You wear a kilt the game.
Right? But, as Brandon was talking earlier, it's all about the biggest thing for me, I come from a youth ministry background, poured into kids, and I know the importance because I was that kid one day, right, a long time ago, and remember those people I looked up to, and if there's something I can do that puts a smile on their face, and in 10, 15, 20 years, and they're in the seats because they got hooked on what I was doing. Hey, that's what it's about right there. When I see pictures, people that post pictures with me they took on game day, it's the ones they took with their kids that mean the most to me. And because I know that means the world to them, and that's why I do it.
So Phil, I told you somebody made a comment to me the other day about you being whatever, and I was like, well, if half our fans were anything like Phil Glass, we'd be a good fan base. And then that night, after the game, you proceeded to text me a picture of you standing with 4 or 5 kids, and those kids were fired up. They had smiles on their faces and everything like that. You're the official, unofficial mascot of the University of Memphis.
And again, that's not what I set out to do. But
but it's part of it. Like you just said you came from the youth ministry background. You're there for not only your enjoyment, but others' enjoyment too. Football, it's a show. We watch it. It's a drama. We watch a beautiful drama. But there's also comedy in it. And there's also just action and great romance. It's just an infused movie of everything. But seeing kids happy, putting smiles on their faces, that means the most. And you're growing our fan base by doing that.
I remember, the Medicine Man. Probably my favorite picture I took back in 2019. I got to take a picture with the Medicine Man, in his outfit. And I'm like, this is my idol right here, and he was around at Tiger games and Memphis Chicks games and all of those, and those are people that make a difference. And you get to know him on a personal level. That's his heart. It's making people happy, putting a smile on people's face, and I just so happen can do it, supporting the team, my Tigers, and so that's what it's all about.
Man, I've heard just story after story after story of the Medicine Man, that drum, and him just beating it.
Right.
I mean, I've grown up knowing the medicine man is this. Well, it's you. I mean, just modern day version, essentially, is what it is. And I think it's even more cool that you didn't do it on purpose. Like it just happened. You know what I mean? Like it just evolved, like you said earlier.
It's evolved, and like I said, I just run with it, and I try to do anything I can. If I get involved in somebody's charity, help them raise money for a good cause, whatever. I mean, that's what it's about. That's the one thing. The 901 is an awesome community that loves giving back, just like what the whole community and team did for Memphis State, their comedy. That's who we are. That's the part that the media outside of Memphis doesn't talk about. But our whole fan base is like that. This city is great for things like that, and if things like this can help do that, and it gets working.
Speaking of our fan base, what is the one team that you just despise?
That I despise.
Yeah.
It's that same Eastern team. As far as personally, it's Tennessee.
Okay, because we got somebody that just commented and said, "Go Balls." The guy, it's a guy that I know. I've known him for a long time, but wrong show. That show comes on later, and I'm not on that one.
What? Go Vols. Vols. Can't spell balls without an L.
Oh goodness, yeah, UT sucks, and he knows I hate you too. He does just mess with me. But talking about you being a board member, to make sure I get this correct, giving your due diligence here. Talk a little about anything that's been going on with Highland 100. I know Brandon was at the event recently out at the zoo. It was a great time. And I keep up with you guys through you, Todd Adams, and others. Talk a little bit about the Highland 100. Hype it up a little bit.
All right, so Highland 100, the official booster club of the University of Memphis football program. I think our booster club is unique compared to a lot of booster clubs and a lot of programs, and that a lot of times it's seen as the older age, very wealthy people, and we're Memphis. We don't have a lot of that, and so the Highland 100's always been around to be. We try to keep it a low cost. For simply $150, you can be a member of the Highland 100 and support the football
Same
program.
price of your season ticket
Right.
can be the same price of you being in the Highland.
Absolutely. And that money goes directly to be used toward the football program. We get with the coach every year and say, hey, what can we put this money toward this year? We make a promise to give them at least $100,000 a year. Most years it's much more than that.
Yep.
And so it allows us to be directly involved. Through that, we get to do things, build relationships with the players, their families, the coaches. We become a family. A Tiger family. Like Brandon was talking to Brady earlier. Guys like him, we get to meet them and know them and realize they're just normal dudes. But it helps you build that respect of like y'all were talking earlier, when the people are coming down our players on the field, like, hey, we know those folks. We take this personal. They're trying their best. They're college athletes, just like that team we're playing. Sometimes that team we're playing, they're great athletes too. And sometimes, hey, they make like in touch. We do many events throughout the year, like feeding the players, things like that, and just every once in a while get to maybe invite them to an event at our home, and just build those relationships. It's just a wonderful thing, and there's a lot of incentive. You can go on highland100.org and join or come to the tent at any tailgate before the game and sign up. But we do like an event every Friday night before a home game. We kind of do a mini Tiger walk. We're out there, and like we talk about the players, they turn them up when they get to see us do that, and so we're there to support them and get discounts like Tiger Bookstore. I mean, if you're like me, the money I spend to be a member, I save 2 times.
When I was working with you, I went to Tiger Bookstore at least 3 times, and I'd turn around and Who's right behind me? Bill Glass, spending money. Yeah, I got you know, he got the no finger. Got his wife out here in the crowd telling him, "Hey, watch it."
And that is a look too.
Hey, that was the look. Hey, she's wearing Tiger stuff, so I'm sure she supports it.
She's just guilty.
She's just as guilty as that's what it says. That's funny.
She didn't
But
say no.
no, she did not say no. But no, Phil. So you know, going through this pandemic last year, we were lucky enough to go to games.
Right.
I know it wasn't a sellout crowd last week at home. This week, hopefully, there's a lot more than there was last week. But yesterday, we were able to travel to a road game for the first time in over a year. 2 weeks ago, last week, they had a Tiger Walk for the first time in over a year. How special do you think it is for those players to see all of us lined up, side by side, giving them high fives, hugging on them, sending them the support as they're going in there to go to battle against good football teams?
I mean, I could speak directly from Coach Silverfield's own mouth. But again, when we do the thing on Friday night, he comes out. Not only do we do that, he comes out and actually gives a little rah-rah speech back to us as to how the Hummer improved. And you know, he addressed that specifically. He said, you know, we missed this in 2020, and he said the difference is already made in just seeing these players' faces and how they light up, the energy it brings. He said, that's direct from Coach Silverfield. And then, you know, unfortunately, because of last year, the relationships we didn't get to get close to the players, and so some of those relationships have gone away, and we'll work on building those back. But just seeing their faces, you know, I mean, like from my outfit, you know, that was the first time a lot of it was cool to be able to be there, but
it was a unique experience, but I never want to go through that unique experience ever again in my life.
You could just, you know, the fake fan noise. I'm like,
Yeah. Oh man, that's probably the best part about this season. I don't have to hear that stupid ass noise coming out of the video board like I did last year. Yeah. That I don't have to hear that the entire game. It was
horrible.
It might be so college baseball, Vandy Whistler. I think that might be right up there with that, about as annoying as it is. That guy just deserves a special prison cell. I mean, that guy. I don't care about Vandy, so I'm gonna quit talking about him.
Supposedly, that has been going on in Vandy for like ages. Supposedly, but generally, so from what I was told about the Vandy Whistler, it used to happen in the outfield. Well, the outfield would be cool. Don't do it right behind home plate where everybody can hear. But talk a little bit about EZ. EZ. Talk a little bit about. What does it mean? Like to you, what does the ultimate tiger mean? Like if you had to give it a definition and what it meant, what does it mean to you? The guy who play, I mean, I almost look at you as like the Undertaker of Tiger football, just so you know.
The Undertaker.
Yeah, I mean, really, I do. Like if you just roll your eyes in the back of the head, that'd be great.
For me, it kind of goes to what Coach Silverfield's motto is: "Eyes up, all in." You know that term "all in." That's what it is to me. And when I do something, whether it be with Tiger football, in my personal life, at work, my personality is always be all in everything you do in all aspects of life. And so this is just me being all in. It's not me being better than anybody else. This is who I am. It's something that encompasses a lot of different aspects and backgrounds of my life. And so it's just being all in. And you know, as Brandon was talking earlier, you know, our fan base is growing, and then there, you know, probably 25, 30,000 of us that are all in. And I give props to every one of them. You know, I look more at those people who come that are, the older generation, those who are disabled, or whatever, that are there week in, week out,
Consistently.
consistently. Those are ultimate Tigers for me, right? And they are they're not wearing an outfit. The outfit is just exemplifies who I am as a person.
Yeah.
But as a fan, we've got a good fan base. It is growing, and it's exciting to see because I go back. I'm 45 years old, and I can go back when
You don't look a day over 21.
I
so
know it.
you're just trying to get Cowboys
but-
working now.
No.
But when going to Tiger football games was, that's just it is what it was, but it's exciting that we have had a good run, and I think a run that it wasn't just a 2 or 3 year fluke.
Right.
We built a program. It seems to continue to be going in direction, so that base is building, and I think even I hope it doesn't happen. If we go down for 2 or 3 years, I don't think we lose a lot of momentum. We still have a consistent fan base, like basketball. I mean, we lost a few because we had some not so good coaches, but as soon as it started back, they were right back.
Yep.
It's
Yes.
just,
Well, talk a little bit about, you talked about the trajectory of this football program, Tom. Let's talk about next week. Mississippi State comes to town. Are you bringing earplugs for the cowbells? You're not.
no.
I hope they're not allowed to bring cowbells.
Well, from what I've been told, the cowbells will be in Louisville.
Well, from what I've been told, I'm gonna bring my own damn cowbell and counter their cowbell after so when Memphis scores, I'll get up, start ringing mine.
I would say
You're not allowed to bring cowbell.
Oh, I'm not,
Al Butler said no.
I'm not,
It's annoying. It's annoying.
Al Woodward just
My
said
daughter's
no.
not bringing hers, I can tell you that. And my daughter goes to Mississippi State.
Okay, wow.
I think Al Bloodworth just threatened to whoop my ass if I bring a cowbell to a Memphis game.
so.
I will roll
Seen
you, dude.
give the Tiger bookstore plug? Have you seen the game day shirt?
Yeah, this
Yes,
week's
I
game
have.
day shirt's pretty
He's
cool.
got the tiger eating the cowbell. I love it.
Need less cowbell, baby.
Yeah.
Need less
Need less-
cowbell. I love it.
We're making a sign that says "Need less cowbell" for the
That's
game.
awesome.
So I think I'm looking forward to this game. I mean, we're not playing Ole Miss or Tennessee this year, and Starkville. I think it's a great rivalry.
I think it's more of a friendly rivalry.
Yeah, and I know several state fans. I respect them. Most of them are, they're solid fans, respectful fans. I think it'll be a good time. I mean, if they get the Cowboys and the Bells in. If we had our thing, we would probably sneak our whatever in as well.
I already sneak something in every week.
Right.
So
But I look forward to it. I think it's going to be an exciting game, a great regional matchup, SEC team. But I can't wait till the end of the season when we can go down to Houston and UCF and get the claim this year. Hey, we just beat 2 Big 12 schools.
Yeah.
And throw our middle finger up to the big.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Exactly. And speaking of that, looking at this schedule and how everything plays out, first game I was a little nervous about. Last night, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little nervous towards the end. I think Mike McIntyre will get this defense shored up this week. I think he'll button it up. But I mean, really, when you go back and look, we talked about it earlier. When you look at that last week and how they played, or last night, sorry, how that played. If you look defensively, we ran cover 6, cover 7 the majority of that game.
Right.
We were in deep zones the whole game. The middle of the field was wide open, and we didn't make a change, which told me he didn't care that it was open.
Yeah.
He wasn't worried about the middle being open. So I think this week he's going to go in. He's going to make a change. He's going to make a change. You've got the air raid coming in, so you know there's not a lot of run game involved in that. It's going to be no run game. It's going to be very exciting this week, and I know you are looking excited to another great stadium field pack.
I am very excited, ready. I've got I've bought well over 20 extra tickets to put me in a bunch of seats this year, and so do my part and make sure we get the stadium full of Blue Tiger fans.
Oh, yeah.
But I go back last night. I think there's got to be a little bit of fairness. As great as our offense has been these first 2 games, we scored so quick. I think, by the second half, defense was gassed.
Oh,
You
big
got
time.
to be fair. I mean, they were out there so long. I mean, we were out there scoring in 10, 15, 20 seconds of play.
We ran down line.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
So, but the defense was gassed a little bit. But Coach McIntyre, he's got a great resume. He knows what he's doing. And I personally, I don't think in these first two games they showed it all. I think they're being smart.
We're very good.
I think, and you usually see that out of a team, especially if their third game is against a bigger opponent.
Right.
They don't show all their cards.
Right.
It's like poker, man.
Yeah.
You play your cards right, then you show them when it's time to. I think they're going to show them this week. I think yesterday was a little bit of a scare. The front seven is really good. The secondary is the one. They'll get it together.
We'll play just like Arkansas played. We've got a lot of new guys, and they're playing great ball, and they're getting their feet under them, and they're just going to improve. I'm not fearful. We'll hold our own. I think it'll be a good match. It's not going to be a blowout either way. It's going to be a good football game. It's going to keep fans on their feet. 4 quarters.
And I mean, I hope Tiger fans come out that wear blue, they're loud. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a jam-packed stadium. I believe that game was on ESPN at 3 p.m. A lot of fun. Come on out to the Liberty Bowl next Saturday afternoon. Hell, get out there about 9, 10 in the morning. Get some tailgate going. Get the grill going. Get there early. This Memphis football team is playing some good football. They're going to be a lot of fun. But you know what I love the most, Phil, is this coaching staff and this team is having fun.
Yes.
And that's what I love the most about it.
Yes.
Phil Glass, you've been amazing once again, man. The ultimate Tiger, one of the biggest Tiger fans I know. Not quite as big as Bum, size-wise, but he is ultimate. You're just ultimate size-wise.
I'm big and bad. He's just ultimate. So, yeah. Well, hey, thank you to Sidecar Cafe.
Hey guys,
for having us.
one of the biggest Tiger fans, and we all used to hear Charlie Fisher of the Highland 100. Yeah. Beat them, Tigers!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Once again, thank you to Sidecar Cafe for having us. All our waitresses have been incredible today. Thank you, Rick Haygood, for allowing us to host this event here. We hope to be here again next month or November. That's the plan right now. But yeah, thank you to all our sponsors: Tito's Vodka, PA Masks, Germantown Village Wine and Liquor. We're just so grateful to be able to do this. We started this thing a little bit over a year ago. For us to have our first live show, cover our first football game as far as media yesterday, we're growing. We're growing. Our brand's growing. We're very thankful for that. We're thankful for those of you watching and listening at home. We're thankful for those that are here, our friends, everything like that. Thank y'all for coming out. Wes, do you have any closing remarks?
Man, just thank you for everybody that came on. Thank you, Christian Johnson, Nathan Wilson, everybody that's been on with us today. Brady White, another big, huge special guest as well. Al Bloodworth was amazing. Once again, Phil Glass, you're always great, man. We will be sure to get you back on again, as always. Thank you to Phil and his wife for coming out and supporting this event today. Thank you to everybody at Sidecar Cafe. We are 4-Star Sports Media, and we are out.
Hey, go Tigers!
Go Tigers!